You know, sometimes bigger isn't always better. Let's get into it. Hello there, Clapperheads, and welcome to a brand new edition of ClapperCorn Reviews. My name is Nick Dorian. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about Paramount Pictures' latest release, Smile 2. Now, when Smile took to the screens in 2022, it was a massive success. With its haunting imagery and chilling storyline, Smile was a film that horror fans loved. So it makes perfect sense that 2 years later, we are now blessed with a sequel. And let me just say this, whatever you thought about the first film, whatever feelings you had about the first film, creator Parker Finn has decided to turn all of that up to 1,000,000. Smile 2 follows a brand new character, Sky Riley, a pop singer who a year prior suffered a major accident and now has begun to rebuild her life. However, her past is about to catch up to her and turn her life into chaos thanks to a very smiley demonic entity. Now, if you've seen the first film, you will not be surprised at all with the tone and mood of this film. If anything, it has exactly replicated whatever has happened in the first. It's eerie, it's haunting, it's disturbing, it is chilling, it is gory, it is everything a good horror film should be. Creator Parker Finn has decided to take whatever formula that worked last time and replicate it this time, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? But like I said before, that formula has been dialed up immensely, so you are going to be at the edge of your seat, pushing your way back, trying to get away from anything that's happening on the screen, while at the same time wanting to see what is going to happen next, looking at all those empty spaces, trying to preempt yourself for a jump scare. With its clever use of nearly no soundtrack creating that really eerie atmosphere, you are going to be in that cinema hall, heart racing and everything, waiting for this thing to end. And at the same time not being able to escape because you just want to know what's going to happen next. Now, with most sequels, they usually bring back returning cast members. However, Smile 2 does things differently by giving us a brand new cast. And at the center of that is Naomi Scott in the role of Sky Riley. Scott delivers a fantastic performance in this role, and you can genuinely feel all her fear, all her struggle, all her grief, every single emotion Scott delivers fantastically, giving you that emotional viewpoint that is going to haunt you. If the entire atmosphere of the film didn't work for you, then Naomi Scott's performance is going to grab you by the throat and keep you watching throughout the performance. Smile 2 is one of those rarities of a horror film that actually works again the second time around, but there's just some things that just stop it from being actually perfect. First of all is the pacing of the film, which I also had an issue with its predecessor. The first half of this movie undoubtedly did feel quite draggy at moments. Don't get me wrong, the story is wonderful, but I just felt there were a few scenes that could have been cut so that we get to that action further. And with that absence of the returning cast, there feels to be a little bit of a disconnect between the first film and this. There's no real linkage to it apart from the fact that there is the same demonic entity. It feels like Parker had an original idea that he really wanted to do, but he had to scale it back for the first one. So this time around, he's like, this is what I wanted to do. This is how I'm going to do it. And we are going to go all out. Everything is sort of explained like it's the first time we're watching it. So you don't actually need to watch the first Smile film in order to enjoy this. And then there is that issue of going much, much bigger. Like I said before, this sequel has ramped up whatever worked in the first film, almost borderlining to comedic right near the third act. Everything was going well until we got into the final moments where it seemed to go from 0 to 100 real quick. So much so that the ending was so out there that it felt like this was taking us out of the film just for a moment. The reason why Smile worked so well is because there was sort of an independent charm about things. It was subtle in its nature. It was using whatever it had at its disposal and creating something that would last. This time you knew they had a bigger budget and they were going to use whatever they had with it. But sometimes that's not necessarily a good thing, and this is where Smile 2 takes a little bit of a pitfall. At the end of the day, Smile 2 is not for the faint-hearted at all. If you're a massive horror fan, you are going to enjoy this, but if you're somebody that's a casual viewer of it, I wouldn't recommend this for you. With its copious amounts of gore, disturbing imagery that's going to last for days after you leave the cinema hall, as well as that chilling soundtrack that's just going to push you at the end of your seat, this is something that is going to disturb a lot of people. But it doesn't deny the fact that this is a valiant attempt at a sequel of a great horror film. So do yourself a favor, Smile 2 premieres in Malaysian cinemas tomorrow, the 17th of October. Go and have yourself a watch, but like I said earlier, if you are just a casual viewer of horror, give this one a miss because it is going to haunt you. And as always, you can check us out on all social media. It's all on the screen at the moment: Instagram, TikTok, and of course YouTube. Go and follow and subscribe to those channels for more updates. Thank you so much again for watching. I'm Nick Dorian, and until next time, keep watching the movies.